Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. 3 more young students of a former Hamilton County teacher testified in court today. Dwayne Sanders was a first-grade teacher at Wallace A. Smith Elementary.
He faces more than a dozen charges, including continuous sexual abuse of a child and sexual battery. Local 3's Madison Sims has details from today's testimony.
Several of Sanders' former students took to the stand to describe the abuse they say happened in his first-grade classroom. The first person to testify in day 3 of the trial was the mother of one of Sanders' students. She says she noticed times her son didn't want to go to school, but thought it was just him being a kid.
Around Christmas time, he started saying he didn't really want to go, kept pretending to be sick, and I thought he just wanted to stay home and play on the tablet.
The mother says she read a Facebook post from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office that detailed Sanders' arrest. At the time, she didn't know the details of the arrest, but her son was in his class, so she asked him if anything happened to him.
So then I asked him if anyone had touched him, and I touched my shoulder to see if he would just mimic me. And he said yes, and I asked him if he could show me where, and he reached and grabbed his and started rubbing it. And then I told him, "Thank you for telling me."
Her son took the stand after her, saying, "Mr. Sanders broke the rules by touching my private part." Prosecutor Stephanie Brown then showed him a photo of his first-grade classroom, and he pointed to Sanders' chair and said, "I see the place where it happened." The jury also heard from another alleged victim. The child shared that on several occasions, Sanders used both his hands and his mouth to touch his genitalia. In her testimony, his mother said when her son shared this with her, she was distraught.
As a parent, my first thought was I did not want him back in that class or Sanders around him. And it was to say something that extreme. I felt in my heart and just kind of knew he's not making that up. Little 5-year-olds wouldn't be making something like that up. There was just too much detail.
The final 2 witnesses were a mother and son. The mother says her son first told her about the abuse when he came home and said Sanders had been arrested.
He was sitting in Mr. Sanders' lap and then he touched his penis. He said, "Hey, you touched my penis." And he said he apologized. "Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." And then he did it again. He did it like 3 or 4 more times while he was sitting in his lap during their reading time.
Her son testified in a video with a forensic investigator that Sanders would touch his private areas. He also named 2 of his classmates as victims of the alleged abuse. One of the boys he named testified in court. We will continue to provide updates throughout the duration of the trial. Reporting from the Hamilton County Courthouse, I'm Madison Sims, Local 3 News.
Time to check weather now as we head into the weekend.